Calling all members of the in crowd. If you want to get in on the action, we want to hear from you. Hit us up, faderoutemail@gmail.com, or slide in our DMs on IG at FadeRoutePodcast, or drop us a line on X at FadeRouteDNZ. You can find us on Facebook, The Fade Route with DNZ. We're on Spreaker. We're on YouTube, The Fade Route with DNZ. Catch our videos. Like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, and spread the word. Order up! It is time for us to order up.
Order up, order up.
This week, we are ordering up the best college quarterbacks of this century. And it was actually a very interesting ESPN college football poll. So we're going to take a crack at that and see if we agree with ESPN college football or if they're off, as ESPN social media often is. So here we go. From 5 to 1, who is your best college football quarterback this century deep?
Yeah, so I mean, I took a different look at it, honestly. I mean, I saw their poll, and I don't know. I had a tough time with it, Z, honestly. So here's what I'm gonna say. I couldn't get 5, so I'm gonna let Vince Young and Matt Leinart share 5. And people might be surprised, but I don't know why, but I really did enjoy Matt Leinart as a college football quarterback. I don't know if it was because he was a lefty, because he was 6'4". I can't explain it. Like, I just think Matt Leinart was one of the best quarterbacks this century, and 2-time quarterback of the year. I think he had 2 national championships.
Yes, sir.
And then on the Vince Young side, Vince Young beat Matt Leinart in the Rose Bowl, and arguably, actually, my favorite college national championship that I've ever watched.
To be the man. To be the man.
You gotta beat the man. And he beat a stacked USC team with Matt Leinart, Lendale White, Mike Rucker, Reggie Bush, and Mike Williams. The list goes on and on. So for the two of them to share that spot, I thought it was only fair. So number 4, listen, he didn't amount to much as a pro, but it's Tim Tebow. It's Tim Tebow, 2-time national champion, Heisman winner, Maxwell Award winner. They have a statue for him in front of the stadium. He could run, he could throw, he was smart. It didn't equal to a prolific pro career, but Tim Tebow was one of the best quarterbacks, not only of the century, but ever. So then number 3 for me, I'm going to get a little newer, a little more recent. I'm going to go with Deshaun Watson. I mean, he was a national champion. He had a big arm, great football acumen. Forget about what he is as a person. Forget about what he is as a pro. The guy really was able to keep things going in Clemson and was a phenomenal football player. Number 2 for me is Joe Burrow. I mean, listen, if you're not going to start a team with Pat Mahomes, the next guy you want to start your team with is Joe Burrow. Joe Cool, situation's never too big. He can make every throw. That LSU team that he won the national championship team might be one of the best college football teams ever assembled, right up there with the 2004 USC Trojans. Like, I would love to see those two teams play. He's a national champion, a stud. He started out at OSU, didn't work out, went to LSU and crushed it. Joe Burrow smoking a stogie after winning the national championship. Doesn't get better than that. And number 1, and people are probably going to give me shit for it, but I'm not backing down from it. It's Trevor Lawrence. Like, he is just the prototypical quarterback. He's the quarterback that I grew up with, the quarterback that I always admired. He's 6'5". He's got a huge arm. He could run. He won a national championship. He had 2 appearances in the national title game. I'm pretty sure his first loss between college and high school was in his second national title game. I'm pretty sure the man only lost like 2 games in the matter of 6 years between his high school career and his college career. Like, that's how good he was. And I'm still a fan of his. I still think there's tremendous upside from him. But I remember watching him play and saying, man, this is the next Joe Montana. He is Joe Montana. And I like Trevor Lawrence. That's my guy.
We talked about ESPN social media, right? Where's Trevor Lawrence on the list? He's not.
He's not. Yeah.
He's not.
He's not.
Bro, are you kidding?
Not.
Cam Newton is. Cam Newton
is
for 2,000 yards in college.
Yeah. Cam
Newton. Good.
No, I was gonna say Cam is good. I mean, don't get me wrong. I remember watching his season, and I remember how great he was. But I take these guys over Cam. I don't know. I mean, he couldn't play on that Tebow team. That's my opinion.
The bottom line is this: Cam Newton, like, as good as he is, right? And Cam Newton is very good. Was very good. Outside of whatever happened last week when he got jumped by those guys at the 7-on-7.
That was a disaster.
That was a disaster. Whatever's gone on off the field in college and early on in his professional career, he was a game wrecker. But not match up to anybody on this list. He didn't even throw for 3,000 yards. He played for 6. He had 6 completions. He had 12 passes on the University of Florida. 12 passes. Why? Because of Tim Tebow. So Cam Newton should not be on this list. He should not sniff that list.
Oh, yeah. And just before you get into your list, one of the things I wanted to note, just to go back to the Matt Leinart. Matt Leinart's college quarterback room was fucking stacked. Mm-hmm. Carson Palmer, Bingo. Matt Leinart, Matt Castle, John David Booty. Now, I know John David Booty didn't amount to much, but Carson Palmer was a baller. Matt Castle played pretty well when he was with the Patriots, but I was just surprised that all 3 of those guys were in a quarterback room together.
So John David Booty may not have amounted to much, right? But he did come from the same family. So the Booty name lives on, right? So we went from J.D. Booty, his brother Josh Booty, who played for the Marlins, and he was an NFL quarterback. The Booty clan lives on.
Booty, right? Booty, rocking everywhere.
There we go. Booty. Like, it's just fun saying general booty, not specific booty. Not public booty.
Not public
general.
booty.
Not just public
general.
booty. Just general.
Not
general.
Private booty. General.
General booty. Exactly. So for me, Cam Newton's off the list completely. Number 5. This is tough. Like Vince Young, also off the list. Did very well. Didn't do enough. But he did beat Matt Leinart, but I gotta say, Matt Leinart was more prolific over the breadth of his career. So I'm looking at the breadth of his career. Number 5, I'm gonna go Joe Burrow. Won a chip. Absolutely, what you want to be as a prototypical quarterback. His time at Ohio State didn't do much for him. He took off at LSU under Coach O. So good for Joe Burrow. Stud. An absolute stud. Number 4, we got to reach back, right? We're reaching back. I got to go Matt Leinart as well. Like Matt Leinart. This list is very much recency bias, right? Like you think about the early 2000s in terms of quarterbacks coming out of college, right? Ken Dorsey was very good too. Like Ken Dorsey's nowhere near this list. Think about some of the guys that we've seen play come out of college who were great college quarterbacks. Yeah, they didn't make it in the pros. Like a guy like Jason White. Jason White was a good quarterback. Bulky knees aside. Matt Leinart, prolific passer, accurate passer, 65% accuracy, and those 2 national championships certainly help. Number 3, this is where it starts to get interesting. Because you have RG3 or Baker Mayfield. And this is tough, right? Because of the fact that they're, in terms of skill sets, RG3 was a very good passer. Baker's a better passer than RG3. RG3, an amazing running quarterback, right? Like, guy was a track star. Won the Heisman. Baker also won the Heisman. Like getting down to brass tacks here, like they could be a number 3. I'm gonna put Baker Mayfield ahead of RG3. So Baker Mayfield's at the 3, RG3. Actually, RG3 number 3. I think that's fair. Just for what he was able to do. Number 2, Baker Mayfield, more prolific. Almost 15,000 passing yards, 131 touchdowns, 30 picks. We kind of forget how good Baker Mayfield is because of what he's done in the NFL. But in college, Baker Mayfield was the man. Only threw 30 picks in college. So my number 2 is Baker Mayfield. And number 1 was coming. Come on. We're talking about college quarterbacks of the 2000s. There is only one right answer. I know you said Trevor Lawrence. I'm busting your balls. But it's Tim Tebow.
Yeah.
You cannot think of college football without Tim Tebow. Like, he was Mr. College Football, right? Like, that was him. Like, they branded the league around him. Mr. College Football. Synonymous. Winner. National champion. From a freshman to a senior. The whole thing. It all fell apart in the NFL. But not everybody's meant to play in the NFL. And I'm breaking some news there. Not everybody's meant to play in the NFL. Tim Tebow, not meant to play in the NFL. Not meant to play in Major League Baseball. In that moment in time, he was meant to be a college quarterback, and he did very well. He absolutely delivered the goods and was the face of the entire sport, and is still talked about to this day. What more do you need?
Thanks for listening to this episode of our podcast. If you like what you heard and want to hear more, be sure to like and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. Rate us 5 stars, leave us a review, turn on subscription notifications, and tell your friends. Spread the word, spread it wide.